Hi, this is Tammy. I am in my element today. This is my Honda Element. I am here to share with you some tidbits I have learned over the years as a physiotherapist and yoga teacher, and also someone who lives with persistent pain. And some of these are mindset, some of them are physical strategies. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the strategies that we can employ to help with the fatigue that comes with living with persistent pain. Now, this can work for people who don't have persistent pain as well. So this is one of the things that I do as, something to take like the edge off. And I'm assuming that your strategies are, multiple, many, so they are accumulative. So one of the things that I think about is how to reduce decision fatigue. So decision fatigue, if you've never heard of that, it's sort of a concept of, we make thousands of micro decisions all the time, every day. And some of them conscious, but a lot of them are unconscious. Our brain is constantly sort of deciding and making information evaluations and making judgments and things like that about the world around us. So there's this concept of doing a lot of the same things to reduce decision fatigue. So as someone who lives with pain is very fatiguing. Stress is very fatiguing as well. So pain is a type of stressor on the body. When we are stressed, when we are in pain, what happens is our alarm systems tend to be on most of the time as opposed to off. And so our alarm bell system is part of our fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system drive. So one of the things that happens when we are in pain, or if we are stressed, is that we have elevated levels of what we call our stress hormones. So a lot of people are familiar with cortisol, and adrenaline can be very, very useful in an emergency. However, if you are not in an emergency and you are, in pain, then the body really doesn't know the difference. And so it's going to be producing elevated levels of these stress hormones, and that can set off a bit of a spiral. So elevated levels of stress hormones, when they're elevated, that inhibits some of the things like our digestion, our feel-good hormones, the things that regulate mood, that do all kinds of like really nice things in our body. So this inhibition means that it's not like you're producing serotonin and dopamine and all these nice things and stress hormones. When the stress hormones are up, these guys are like struggling to actually even be produced. So it's not like you get equal amounts. And so that's one of the things that is fatiguing, because we are missing then all of like the feel good stuff, all of the things that, help with digestion and mental capacity and decision making and things like that. So it can feel like a bit of a slog, our digestion's slow, our brain doesn't feel like it's like sharp, things like that. So that can start to feel very tiring. So what do we do when we can't necessarily change our body's chemistry? We can't just like shut off the pain. So some of the things I do is I wear black every day to work. And I wear the same black stuff. No, not the same every day. I mean, we do laundry, but that's one of the things I started quite a while ago, was that I just have this set of clothes and it's like repeat of the same shirt and the same pants, kind of thing. And so I don't get up in the morning and decide what I'm going to wear to work. I just get up and I put on this work clothes. And so some people have work clothes, but it might be like different colors and things. And I've just chosen to go with black, because then there's no like, oh, do I feel like wearing the blue shirt today? I'm trying to minimize as much as possible. So I just wear black shirts, plain. That's one thing that I've been doing. And I will say that if you're thinking right now, like, oh, so she wears a black shirt every day, that's going to make me so energetic. And it's not really. It's just that I try to hit my stuff that I'm dealing with from as many angles as possible. And so I believe it was Steve Jobs that wore the same thing to work every day. And that was kind of, the thing that I had heard, many years ago, and then did a bit of reading on it. And I was like, oh, this is actually like a mental phenomenon, right? So we can reduce the amount of decisions that we make. So I wear black clothes every day to work. On my days off, I don't always wear the same thing, but that's one thing I do. The other thing that I do is I eat pretty much the same thing for breakfast every day. So I don't necessarily eat the exact same thing for lunch and dinner every day of my life, but I will go, where I go like 4 or 5 years and just eat the same thing for breakfast every morning. It's just automated. It's just what we do. And that way I'm not getting up and going, what do I feel like eating? I also stick to a routine. So I get up at the same time, I eat at the same time, go to bed at the same time, and it just becomes like, this is what we do. This is what time we go to bed. This is what we do then, and I do rebel against that sometimes. And I just go, I just need to like do something different. But on the whole, breakfast is one of those things that just, I feel like I don't have a lot of brain capacity at that time of the day, so I just like, this is what I eat for breakfast. So there are times, and people who know me, I'm always saying, what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for breakfast? Because I do get tired of it, but it does reduce decision fatigue. And so variety is great. Variety is the spice of life, but there are certain things that I just do all the time. And so those are a couple of things that I'll just throw out there to see what you think of that. And if you have other things that you do regularly that just reduce your decision fatigue, I would love to hear them. And if you want to leave me a comment in the section below, or send me a private message, we can have a little chat about that. But yeah, I just kind of have certain routines that work for me, and do other little things to try to reduce decision fatigue. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your strategies are.